So, anyway, so you may have noticed a couple of interesting email accounts over here. Again, I've already explained the 419 scammer at generally, if you've got an AOL account, people don't really look at you nicely. Like that's grandparents have those email accounts. Send me your account info at notyourschool.edu. Be very careful when with some email with some stuff you get from Temple, because it might not actually be from Temple occasionally, or people saying that they're Temple but they don't actually have a Temple email address. I actually am proud of Fisher King, because the Fisher King is kind of a legend of a king who's injured and his land is injured as a result. But phishing is basically the act of trying to send an email and then get basically your information that way. Anyway, while you were doing that, I was just reminded of, again, going back to what I mentioned on Tuesday, that if you get a spam email, maybe just try to have some fun with them and waste their time. Look up 419 and Harry Potter, and you'll find that basically on this website about 419 Eater, this guy basically got a scammer to essentially scammed a scammer, not like stealing any money from him, but wasted his time. And what he did is that he said, "Hi, I'm running a hand recognition thing, right? I got an email from you. I'm sending you back saying I can't do that right now, but I am running a hand recognition research progress, and I can pay you $100 per handwriting sample, but I need a minimum of 100 pages." And he said, "Can you do a book for me?" And sent him a PDF of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And so the man then proceeded to write out by hand every single page of Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets. Oh wait, no, is that no? It's the original one. So Sorcerer's Stone, yeah, not Chamber of Secrets. So yeah, some people get some really fun wins like that. He also, he does play a bit fair. For instance, he used the name Arthur Dent, which is like a character from The Hitchhiker's Guide. So that stuff does happen occasionally. So it ends up being pretty fun there. All right, so let's go ahead and also just talk about one more of these over here, which is the cases that had this in here. So that's one more thing to learn about regular expressions and character classes, right? So let's just go ahead and see by example, right? We learned on Wednesday. Sorry, we learned on Monday. Sorry, we learned on Tuesday. I would get it eventually. That basically A-E-I-O-U, this is a character class that matches any single vowel, right? Okay, plus means any sequence of vowels, right? At least one vowel. But what if I wanted to match all consonants? That'd be a bit of a pain, right? To do B, C, D, and so on and so forth. Well, fortunately, I can kind of cheat there and do caret, A-E-I-O-U, and that matches literally anything that's not a vowel, including, the non-letters too. But when you have a caret in front of a character class like this, it means anything that's not one of those. So you can kind of create the inverse and say, I'd like to match anything that's not that. Yes?
The same way as capital D.
Yes. That's exactly what that is. It's the same way that a capital D matches... a capital D is the opposite of like /D. Capital W is the opposite of lowercase w. So let's go ahead and write one more, and I think we'll round it out with a bit of an easier one to do. All right, let's go, rather than doing an email, let's go ahead and let our third question be something along the lines of, let's write a regular expression that matches a date, specifically a US formatted date, right? Match a US formatted date. What is the form? So we learned about this way back when we were doing Blame the Pope. What is the format of a date in the United States? Which is, yes. Yeah, we've got a digit for two digits for the month. Then we've got a delimiter of some kind, something to separate it, a separator, a day, and a year. So we can match something of this format, month, slash day, slash year. But this over here, the slashes, the forward slashes, they could, some people also like to do them as dashes as well, right? You've probably done that yourself too. A month, especially when you're doing handwriting. So month, dash, day, dash, year, right? And a couple other things though, right? So let's just look at one date. The 5th of May. So actually we can do March 2nd. Let's do March 2nd of this year. Okay? March 2nd of this year. So that's one way. So let's look at all the different ways that might be written. Okay? It might be written like this. It might be written like this with the slashes. But people don't often put preceding zeros in front of things. Right? So it could be 3/02/2019, or rather just 3/2/2019. Furthermore, people often leave out that last year. So some people might just do 3-2-19. So write a regular expression that will match all those cases. Right? So we can use slashes or dashes, right? We can use 3. We can match. It's either going to be 0-3, right? Now it doesn't have. So you might have to think about this for a bit. It's actually a bit challenging to try to do this. So try to get as far as you can, and then turn it in at the end of the class. So, again, if it's not completely correct and it matches the majority of stuff, that's perfectly fine. We'll review this on Tuesday, especially when I introduce more of the homework. On Tuesday, we're going to learn about how we can start mixing this with file reading and file writing in preparation for our exam. Okay, so and my hint here is that we can highly use use groups, use parentheses, and you can definitely use the or symbol, right? And my other piece of advice is sometimes the dumbest way to do things is the easiest way to do things.